Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the romance you believe to be ideal, which has just been dragged through the Bronx. Papoose stood tall for 12 long years, the epitome of loyalty, the ride-or-die husband who kept Remy Ma in check through late-night Twitter tirades, industry feuds, and a prison sentence. But his world simply fell apart today. Collision, because it's not a song, a diss tune, or a cunning direct message that was recently leaked. It's a kid, a daughter who is hidden. And now for the shocking revelation. Papoose is not her other parent. It's not a man at all. It is purportedly Remy's ex-girlfriend, a female rapper from the days when mixtapes were still being released on CDs. You heard correctly. Remy's mother might have been leading a double life while the rest of the world was celebrating black love. One that involved romance, a child she never disclosed to Papoose, and secrecy. Now, the truth is emerging through anonymous leaks, DNA testing, and rumors that this unidentified girl could be the next big thing in rap with the swagger of her girlfriend and Remy's bars. This is more than just a scandal, so hold on tight, family. The first tremor is already being felt, and this is a hip-hop earthquake. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the controversy that everyone should have seen coming, but no one did. We all remember Remy Ma as the Bronx-bred lyricist who endured jail time, spit bars like bullets, and emerged stronger, wealthier, and perhaps a little more reclusive than we thought. Of course, there is Papoose, who almost completely changed the definition of loyalty. Similar for 6 years. He kept her in check while she served her term, wrote letters, paid weekly visits, and popularized the hashtag Black Love. He even waited for her to get home before consummating their marriage. However, it seems that Remy was concealing a whole child while he was penning poetry and purchasing ring improvements. But not just any child, a 12-year-old daughter. Here's the catch, though. She is the other parent. Yes, a reputedly well-known female rapper on the scene underground in the 2000s. How about a plot twist like that? Remy and this woman were more than just buddies, according to unnamed sources, including a relative who used to roll blunts during their studio sessions. Before Remy was imprisoned, they shared a home. Their close relationship usually indicates that they were doing more than just making music. And now, after all these years, the same relative has revealed something shocking on social media. "Y'all are not ready for this tea," was written as the caption on a grainy photo of a preteen girl. The second post, which showed a side-by-side comparison of young Remy in her battle rap days and this girl, the same eyes, the same smirk, the same cocky stance, came with the audio. An old voicemail purportedly from Remy herself, discussing keeping things low for the baby's safety, mentioning a she in the parental context, and referring to someone named Ka as our little one, KMA. Who is Ka? I never wanted to do this, but since the name went viral faster than a leaked diss track, the conspiracy machine went into overdrive. At first, people believed it was a hoax. But then a woman claiming to be Remy's ex appeared on TikTok, and boy, did she have receipts. Her name is Lady Flames, and she's a rough-voiced rapper from Brooklyn who never quite made it out of the underground circuit. But in her 4-minute live, she dropped enough bombshells to destroy a career. The biggest revelation was that Remy was artificially inseminated, and they planned it together. This is where it gets messy. Yes, Rem and I were together. Yes, we were in love. And yes, that's my daughter too. She said she and Remy were together for almost 4 years, trying to create a legacy before Remy's sentence interrupted their plans. Let that sink in. It means that Remy Ma may have been carrying another woman's child. A child she never acknowledged publicly. A child she never introduced to the world. To make matters worse, Lady Flames claims that Papoose met the child once at a family cookout back in 2016. But Remy told him it was her goddaughter. Remy got pregnant before prison, had the child in secret, and never told Papoose despite the fact that they were married while she was serving her sentence. The internet is going crazy because Remy Ma paraded around for years as a changed woman who was all about loyalty, truth, and family values. But this entire chapter of her life was hidden away like an unreleased mixtape. People are now calling out the hypocrisy. One fan tweeted, "Remy really said conceal." Avoid feeling. Don't act as though she was Frozen's Elsa. After that, someone else shared a side-by-side photo of Papoose in love against Papoose. The news caption? He waited for 6 years while she was secretly raising a family. And dude, if you need assistance, blink twice. Papoose has been completely silent while social media is in meltdown mode, but insiders say he's devastated. A source close to the couple claims that he discovered the news online, just like the rest of us, after seeing the TikTok, voicemail, and picture. He hasn't spoken to anyone for 2 days. And really, who can blame him? Because when you think about it, this isn't just a cheating scandal. It's a betrayal layered in lies, time, and parenthood. He has taken the stage in interviews and even podcasts for 12 years, discussing how Remy changed him, how they had a daughter together, whom he thought was their only child. And now, boom, another child, another parent, and an entire other relationship. However, this is where it gets even more suspicious. There is allegedly no official birth certificate filed under Remy Ma's legal name with a daughter born in the same year, which has led to new questions. Did she use a false identity? Was the birth private, using a home birth doula? Or did someone in her circle purposefully hide the documents? Some fans believe the whole thing was staged as a contingency plan in case her career took a nosedive after prison, while others claim it was just love messy. Complex love that took a turn for the worse when the world got involved. Regardless, one thing is certain, Remy Ma's legacy has undergone a significant change. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look back, because in order to fully grasp how deep this goes, we need to go back to the beginning. Back to the studio days. Late nights in the Bronx, battle rap ciphers, and a mysterious woman with cornrows who was once a story of resiliency and redemption. We're only scratching the surface because, while everyone is focused on the daughter, nobody is asking who the biological father is. And believe me, when that name drops, it will completely upend the entire industry. Is always 2 steps behind Remy, but never on the mic. Next, let's talk about the woman at the center of this collapsing circus, Lady Flames. She was the co-parent, the alleged ex, and the silent partner in Remy Ma's double life. While most people might not recognize her name, those involved in the New York underground battle scene did. She was that gritty, bar-heavy Brooklyn lyricist who never quite in the early 2000s. Lady Flames and Remy Ma were inseparable, according to those who knew them at the time. They rolled together, hit shows together, and occasionally even wore matching Tim Hortons on stage. Not because she lacked talent, but because she refused to play the game. She had no stylists, no label, no sellout moves, and perhaps, just possibly, no room for her name next to Remy Ma's once Remy started getting serious about her brand. Fans are unearthing old footage with fresh eyes now that the secret is out. One clip from a 2005 cypher, in which Flames passes Remy the mic and winks, while Remy calls her "my ride or die" on camera, has gone viral. It looks scandalous now, but the best part is that Lady Flames claimed in her most recent live stream that their relationship ended the moment Remy Ma was arrested. Remy told me bluntly, "I'm going to prison." Not because of the charges, but because she decided to put her public persona ahead of their child. I can't appear weak out here. Right now, I can't have people assuming I'm a mother or gay. Everything I've built will be ruined. Let that sink in. She allegedly put her reputation before her relationship and her baby. Lady Flames claims that once Remy left and immediately embraced Papoose, she was instructed to keep quiet for the benefit of all parties. However, she has now stopped remaining silent because Flames claims that Papoose was aware of it. Yes, he allegedly discovered it in 2016 but decided to conceal it to preserve their reputation. At the time, Rhee's career was taking off after LHHNA. The BET Awards were approaching, and they were negotiating deals for Black Love branding. A scandal like this would have destroyed their reputation. And guess what? Fans are unearthing interviews from 2016 in which Papoose avoids questions about children. Papoose avoids questions about children. A purported internal email stated that the brand would be halting all digital assets involving Claressa until the current PR storm is resolved. That's not just a bad look, it's a financial hit. According to sources, Claressa was expected to earn upwards of $250,000 from the campaign alone, not including bonuses tied to digital reach. And now she's losing money before she's even had time to deny anything. Insiders started leaking that the brand was worried about public backlash and misalignment with family values. Fans noticed something on Papoose's Spotify profile. An unreleased freestyle called Lost. A T was added to the list of upcoming tracks. The cover featured a black and white photo of a boxing glove hanging from a broken mic stand. It was subtle, but not at all. As if that wasn't enough fuel, someone sent in a photo to a gossip blog that purportedly showed Claressa and Coach Dre leaving in Atlanta. Restaurant just 3 nights ago, after all the drama had gone public. The caption beneath the leak said, "She doesn't even care." And the insider claimed that they weren't hiding Rather. They were smiling and striding like they owned the neighborhood. Pap was himself. The fans really lost it at that point. As Remy's followers flooded comment sections with Claressa's old ride or die tweets next to the video of her cuddling with Dre. The betrayal had progressed from personal to public to poetic. And then came the worst part, an anonymous Twitter user posing as Claressa's former. In a thread filled with screen recordings of itinerary plans, purported direct messages, and a message that simply read, perhaps too slow to realize he was a campaign. The assistant claimed to have overheard Claressa discussing Papoose as a branding step rather than a soulmate, claiming that Claressa saw the relationship as short-term, strategic, and useful for image rehab. No one cared whether it was real or not. The #Pap advertisement trended for 6 hours straight by nightfall, and the internet went crazy with it. Then Rhee's next move came. Shared an old video clip of Papoose rapping on a rooftop without a commentary, blasting a line about loyalty over fame. Her fans showered her with admiration, with one commenting, "She didn't need to say a word." The truth was posted by her, and yet Claressa still hadn't spoken, which was starting to feel like an admission. But someone else finally did. Late that night, a verified account belonging to Coach Dre posted an Instagram story that simply read, "I'm not in the business of breaking families. Fixing broken individuals is my line of work." He followed it up with a flexing selfie in the gym with his top off. A new meme went viral within an hour, featuring a snapshot of his comment over a picture of a real house being demolished with the slogan, "Fixing people by wrecking everything around them." That post didn't help him. If anything, it sent him straight into the mess hall of public dragging. Comments were banned, although no explanation was provided. A music industry blogger claimed that Papoose had canceled a planned studio session with Fat Joe and Scram Jones because he wasn't in the mood to rap at the moment. This leads us to Papoose's supporters unearth his BET Awards tribute to her, referring to it as the moment he gave everything. Then the dam really broke. Another leak, this time from what is being called the Dropbox, showed a 40-second screen recording purportedly showing a FaceTime call between Claressa and another man at Papoose. Not Coach Dre, and Remy's fans started sharing clips of old interviews where she talked about loyalty being her love language. People were asking, was Dre even the only one? She was wearing a hoodie and talking about how Pap is too emotional and that men like him constantly self-destruct. The man on the other end was unverified, but fans said it sounded like a famous music producer who has been seen with Claressa previously. A woman who claimed to be the victim but was now accused of being the mastermind. Remy was unconcerned. She posted a meme of herself drinking tea with the caption, "It's crazy when the truth finally stops knocking and kicks the door in." Suddenly, what had started as a triangle turned into a whole scandal spiderweb. However, the moment I stayed silent because I was hoping what I saw wasn't real. Papoose said after posting a 2-minute video on his Instagram page that stopped the internet dead. The video featured him sitting in the driver's seat of a car wearing a sweatshirt with no filters or introduction. Even in situations where I felt mistreated, I have always made an effort to walk with dignity. But it's not what happened that hurts the most. The reason is that I left a queen for someone who was incapable of being authentic. He hesitated. Being a victim is not why I'm here. I made decisions. However, I didn't believe that I was merely a picture to help someone advance their career. He concluded by addressing anyone who is currently going through a difficult time. Go slowly, get better. Don't strive to be someone else's come up at your own expense. In less than 15 minutes, the video went viral. Every blog received a repost of the clips. For the first time since the drama started, people stopped laughing and began to feel sorry for Papoose. Celebrities began commenting on it, including Charlemagne Henon, Angie Martinez, and Taraji Pete. He wrote, "Real one, no fluff." The sentiment on the internet started to change because so many individuals found that amount of hurt to be too personal. Even Claressa's fans were becoming silent. Claressa has yet to make a statement. Late that evening, however, a mysterious tweet appeared on her page. However, the damage had already been done. It stated, "Lessons learned. Heartbreaks happen. I'll grow through it." There was no name-calling, no apology, no denial. Just ambiguous healing rhetoric that left supporters more perplexed than reassured. One of the year's most well-known online relationship scandals had completely fallen apart. What had started out as a spicy side chick feud had devolved into a slow, agonizing breakdown of trust, truth, and public image. Now, people were talking about what would happen next. Would Claressa respond to the accusations? Would Papoose take a break for music? Would Remy finally leave the chaos she's been repressing for years? More importantly, was this the end? Or was this just the quiet before the next scandal storm? Hours after Papoose's tearful video went viral, an anonymous Reddit account posted a blurry but readable screenshot of what appeared to be an NDA non-disclosure agreement. The name at the top was Claressa Shields, and the signature at the bottom was Anthony Tone Baxter. This was just another anonymous source that surfaced with something even more damning. A screenshot. It's an NDA and a name no one expected to see. And that's exactly where we pick up next. Tone Baxter is a mid-level producer who has been associated with Remy Ma's former management team and is known for discreetly ghost producing for some of the biggest names in hip-hop. According to the Reddit post, he signed an NDA last fall, allegedly to protect the privacy of mutual personal interactions involving C Shields. What this means is that there was something between Claressa and this man, and they didn't want it to get out. Whether this NDA was real or not didn't matter. The internet went crazy. The Note for the Flight fans began piecing together the details faster than a true crime podcast. Why was Claressa flying out Tone Baxter? Why was there an NDA? Why was the payment? Why was this all taking place while she was purportedly establishing a healing, honest relationship with Papoose? Screenshots, threads, and TikTok stow coding every pixel. A Venmo payment history leaked, allegedly showing a $600 transfer from Claressa to Tone Baxter just a month ago. The internet was now doing more than just speculating. It was looking into it. Someone made a Google Doc timeline that detailed every man Claressa had been spotted with over the previous 6 months, complete with location tags, photo evidence, and overlapping dates that gave the impression that Claressa had been running more plays than a boxing coach. Papoose, who had not spoken since his last video, posted one more thing, a quote on a black background that was shared by fans, celebrities, and even Remy. "And sometimes you make sure they don't rewrite the story without you," said Ma, who uploaded it to her own story. This is where things get legal. Remy Ma's team has now filed a cease and desist against Claressa's camp, based on a fictitious but spicy leak from a so-called court insider. Not for defamation, but for misappropriation of personal finances during the time she was allegedly involved with Papoose. The claim is that Claressa used shared assets from her relationship with Pap to support these other relationships, meaning she was spending Pap's money while cheating on him. If this is true, it could lead to civil court proceedings, damages, asset disputes, and even public prosecution. In the meantime, brands are retreating. Another rumor surfaced on blogs that a major athletic supplement company had suspended communication with Claressa's team. Without a press release or confirmation, but with her profile discreetly removed from their ambassador page. That's the third partnership lost in a week. And despite everything, Claressa Shields remained silent. Imagine having to sit in court and explain why she flew out a second man while dating someone she claimed to love. That's not just scandal. That's televised humiliation. Her sole public appearance consisted of a brief Instagram story with the caption, "You only know what's leaked, not what's real," and a black screen. According to several witnesses, Claressa, Remy, Papoose were all invited to an exclusive private event hosted by a luxury magazine celebrating Black excellence in sports and music. It was invite-only, no press, just artists, athletes, and insiders. However, as with everything else in this story, privacy didn't stand a chance, and an attendee leaked audio from the event. If she believed that this would slow the chaos, she miscalculated because the next twist was the confrontation. You can hear parts of what they say was a furious exchange between Claressa and Papoose. But you can hear Papoose stating, "You didn't just lie to me. I lied to myself because of you." After a few moments of silence, Claressa says, "I never asked you to be my hero, but I told you I wasn't perfect." The audio stops then. There is no further explanation or imagery, but it was enough to drive people crazy. By this point, the popular perception of Papoose had changed. And he was no longer viewed as a cheater, but rather as a man who got duped. Claressa was being portrayed as a cunning opportunist, while Remy was being portrayed as vindicated, calm, and unconcerned. Thoughts of peace began to flood TikTok and Twitter. Did Claressa play chess while everyone else believed she was recovering? Did Papoose sacrifice his marriage for a mirage? Is Remy the villain or the warning? Even celebrities began to weigh in. Charlemagne stated on the radio that Remy always moves with receipts, so if she posted it, she meant it. "You don't level up," Lisa Ray added, describing the drama as embarrassing for Claressa, by simultaneously tearing down two men. And just as the backlash hit its peak, one final twist came out of nowhere. A fake but perfectly believable leak claimed that Claressa had been approached by a streaming network to star in her own docuseries. Working title Damage Control. The show would allegedly follow her post-scandal journey, show therapy sessions, and include never-before-seen footage of her relationship with Papoose. When asked for comment, her reps declined. But the leak was enough to trigger outrage online. One tweet said, "She really turned her own mess into a bag." Another added, "You can only lie, cheat, and make money in America." From it with a crew of cameras. What began as Remy being accused of losing her husband ended with Remy having the last say. What began as Claressa stepping into the spotlight ended with her standing in front of a firing squad of her own contradictions. And what began as Papoose chasing happiness ended with him publicly lamenting his own choices. However, Remy Ma's coldest response came when she tweeted the word predictable. And that's how this whole story came full circle. Her future is uncertain. Some say the scandal made her too toxic for brands, while others say she repackage, and bounce back like nothing happened. Because, after all, America loves a villain if she owns it. However, one thing is certain. This wasn't just gossip. It was a masterclass in how quickly the internet can move. According to sources, she's recording a project inspired by losses, and liberation. There's no release date, but fans are referring to it as her redemption era. We watched, clicked, and commented throughout it all because we knew deep down that the drama never ends, it just changes names. So we ask, who exactly was played here? Was Remy Ma just a woman who was scorned? Or was she always 3 steps ahead, waiting for the right moment to end a story that never worked for her? Or was Papoose a man who was looking for peace and experiencing pain? Or did he voluntarily ignore every warning sign in the name of reinvention? And Claressa Shields. You've seen the receipts, heard the voice notes, and witnessed the silence, the cryptic captions, the disappearing brand deals, the leaked NDAs, and the FaceTime calls that should have remained private. Whether she was a misunderstood, ambitious woman who became entangled in two public lives, or whether she played every angle, treated every man like a stepping stone, and built an empire on manipulation, consider this. Would Claressa have continued to climb if Remy had remained silent? Would all of this have remained hidden if Papoose had never left? And if Claressa truly has another twist in store, are we even prepared for it? Like this video if you were at least once taken aback by it. Subscribe if you love the drama, breakdowns, and chaos that no one else dares to fake. And hit that bell because in this world of scandal, nobody is safe. And the next live could destroy someone's legacy. We never clock darling, so let's spill the vibe. Let's spill